They should have called this Holochristine Part 5, A Newish Begin Ending. Alright guys, now that I've given my spoiler-free review of Halloween Kills, I want to just go through, almost stream of consciousness, some things that really I liked about the film and things I didn't, things I can get into, because I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen the movie. I get what they were trying to do. I get what they were trying to do with setting up the evil of Michael Myers, how something terrible happens. Because they did this with Halloween Kills that a lot of people didn't pick up on, and because the Evil Dies Tonight got so annoying that people missed this, it was about how these terrible things happen and people as a body, humans, society, a town, whatever, a collective group of people, they're going to look for and lash out at these enemies or perceived enemies, no matter who it is. I don't know, just the way that they set up this evil of Michael and the mythos was really underwhelming, the way that it was paid off with this sort of copycat killer type thing. I joked, I can't say this term without having to look at it because it's so complicated and it's kind of a tongue twister. But I said in the non-spoiler version, they should have called this Holochristine Part 5, A Newish Begin Ending. Because essentially what they did was they took Christine, the whole incel becomes a bad boy killer type of thing like Arnie from Christine, and combined that with a little bit of the new beginning with Tommy Jarvis in Part 5. Just a little bit less cocaine. I don't know, it just, to me, doing that, instead of permeating the evil through Michael still as that vessel, seemed like a mismatch. To have the movie go 45 or 50 minutes or 60 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes Michael comes out just to go back after Laurie Strode, to me it was really cheap. Really fucking cheap. And I wish I would have said this on the non-spoiler version, but I guess I couldn't. This movie was a copycat killer movie with, oh, but if we put Michael in the end, it'll be fine. It was really, really cheap, I think. And by the way, why did they bitch out Michael like that? Like, was that not the most underwhelming, ineffective Michael Myers you've ever seen on screen? Like, he's crawling around, he can barely stand up. Why is he even alive? They tried to set some things up, but this movie just didn't make sense. I kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde with Allison and Corey. I liked that, and I wish that Allison would have turned evil, because honestly, by the end of the movie, I was just waiting for someone to knife Laurie Strode and just put her out of the fucking franchise. I think she should have gone away. I guess maybe missed opportunity is what I saw with this film, because with Halloween Kills, you kind of set up that Laurie was tired, Laurie was hurt, she was off to the side. Allison saw her boyfriend and her dad and her mom killed by the Shape, much like Laurie Strode had seen her family and friends, or her friends, for sake of continuity, murdered by Michael Myers. So to me, the obvious thing would be Laurie kind of takes a back seat, and now Allison is the protagonist. Instead, they did this weird weaving in and out type of thing, and it just seemed like they tried to take chances and then didn't commit and didn't pay them off. And it just didn't seem, and I understand thinking about it, maybe it's like, oh, they were able to save Corey, because at the end he killed himself as opposed to killing everybody else, but he's still not saving himself. And he killed himself in a nod to the beginning of the movie to make Laurie look like she killed him, to shit in her cereal. But again, it didn't have an effect. So you set the whole movie up that Corey is doing this descent into madness. He's got the same evil look in his eye that Michael did. He's Michael Douglas and falling down. He's going crazy. And finally, when Mr. Incel goes crazy and has his deal, it's completely anticlimactic, because not only does he not do the job, but he does the job. For my friends who are in wrestling, he takes himself out. And in taking himself out, it doesn't affect anything. Nothing, not a goddamn thing. There's no payoff for that. It was essentially I think, in my opinion, having the incel story, having this interweaving of these characters, this completely making up another character, much like they did Lonnie. They took Lonnie from the original movie and made him a central figure, although the guy who played Lonnie was amazing and one of the bright spots of Halloween Kills. In much the same way they did that, they took this guy, they put him up, and they made him the focal point of the movie. And for what? To affect no change overall, other than he killed these people and now they're gonna... It was stupid. To quote John, thank God John Draper saved me from driving over to the movies. I watched it at my house instead. He said, don't go to the movies, just watch it at home. It's just dumb. I've often said that Halloween Kills was a lot like Halloween 4 and the Dennis Etchison Carpenter version that never got made. And in that regard, basically they set up Michael Myers' evil, where after Halloween 2, Michael's dead. And then these weird things start happening around Haddonfield. And the parents are trying to stifle the kids and keep them in a constant state of fear. And this constant fear cycle brings about almost this supernatural force. Like bad things start happening, and then you start seeing this phantom like apparition of Michael Myers, who comes back in almost like Freddy Krueger in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but not quite the same thing. So Halloween Kills to me felt like it was setting up something similar. And even if it wasn't the same exact thing to happen in Halloween Ends, to take it and inject that into like an incel story really was underwhelming. Halloween 2018 was Me Too Halloween. Halloween Kills was MAGA Halloween, MAGA Mob. And Halloween Ends is Incel Halloween. To think that that's what they did after 40 years, to me this felt like the movie after Halloween Ends. Or Halloween Kills. It should have been like Halloween Kills. Like, it should have been the movie after Halloween 2018, or it should have been the next chapter with this guy coming and doing these things. And then maybe Michael comes back, or maybe you come to this conclusion that the town is dead and it's rotting. Like, there were a lot of threads from the Etchison Carpenter Halloween 4 script, which I reviewed with Anya Stanley on this channel. It's a long read. Maybe I'll do a newer abridged version. But my God, it felt underwhelming. Like there was things that they didn't capitalize on from Halloween Kills that they seemed to be setting up, right? Like there was a scene at the beginning, and when they did the flashback to 1978, when the cops are standing there and they're looking off into the distance of Haddonfield, and they show the radio tower, right? The radio tower plays a role in this movie, but it really didn't explain anything. Something centered around it. Is it supposed to be like Twin Peaks? Is it supposed to be this colonial pilgrim, like this fundamentalist, like electricity is evil type thing and it's corrupting us? Is that the symbolism? Because he focused on that and it drew him in like a beacon? There was stuff like that just wasn't capitalized on. And for Michael to take everyone, shooting and beating and clubbing and all this damage, for him to just be living in the sewer and having no effect. It's like even that, like they glossed right over that. They said there was people missing. There was missing things up, and there's people missing, and they think it's Michael, but it's been 5 years and he's not around. Like even that, they really just went right the fuck over that. Right over that. So he's been out there, he just didn't go after Laurie? He wouldn't be out for revenge? He wouldn't be out to get Allison? He creeps, he kills, he goes home? Like, what happened to that? It just didn't make any sense. For this franchise to exist 40 years, for this to be its lasting legacy is very disappointing. Yeah, I don't know. And I know us Halloween fans, Sean Clark has said that We're like Trekkies, and I get it. We are. I've read fan fiction. I said this on the non-spoiler. I've read fan fiction. I've read all of the stories or summaries or pitches or scripts of the Halloween movies that were never made, that were pitched and were never made. I've read Halloween comics, like I think it's either called Halloween Sam or Loomis, with some really cool ideas. All these things that in canon have been passed up from making into a film. Mark Dunstan, what's his name? Marcus Dunstan's Halloween sequel that never came to be. The Michael Myers on Death Row. There have been a number of scripts, pitches that honestly, any one of them. Fuck, I talked about a Halloween multiverse. You telling me that this is better than that? I disagree. I always try to be humble because I know it's difficult making films and coming up with good ideas and getting a group on board and coming up with a finished product, and what the fuck have I ever done, right? But I can't be humble in that regard. Like this, like they could have come up with 1,000 different ideas trying to put the same symbolism forward of this movie and done it much more effectively and much more palatable to Halloween fans. So I've got heartburn over this, for Christ's sake. I gotta go. I'm done. I'll see you guys next time.